Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak. How's everybody doing? This is the 4th of July, 2022, Independence Day. So, as I understand it, Independence Day happened for a lot of reasons. Mainly, people left their countries heading to a better life, a better freedom. And they came to this land, sold everything that they had, or just left it behind, got on a ship and just trusted that someone was going to get them to this new world and they could begin again. And a lot of people did that. And it wasn't very long before everyone realized, oh, we're still being controlled by people who live across an ocean. And it's not fair. And so, again, this is the Stuff I Heard podcast. From my understanding, the Boston Tea Party happened because they raised the tax on tea like 0.02%. And that was enough to kick off the revolution. That was enough for people to say enough. And so we fought a revolution against British control and became our own country. And, I was in the Marine Corps. We would do the running chants. Back in 1775, my Marine Corps came alive. And we talked about how the Marines were established in Tun Tavern, Pennsylvania, in a bar. Bunch of people pissed off enough to go, you know what? I've had enough. I'm going to stand up for what's right. And they formed an armed services and they started fighting back. And a long time ago, today was our Independence Day. Now, I know that for a lot of people, things like independence and freedoms are overshadowed sometimes by the control that we have in our environments, the rules and regulations that we have. And people say, well, we're not really free. We still have a lot of rules and we still have a lot of people that take advantage of the situation. And yes, that is true. That is true. And you don't really understand your own freedoms until you go to other countries, until you go to places that are worse off than you. I was having a conversation with someone recently who went to Belize. When he got back, he said, you don't truly understand what poverty is until you go to somewhere that's impoverished. You have simple things like the ability to get food or housing or cleaning supplies or just a roof over your head as a possibility. And we take all that for granted here in the United States. I mean, I've said on here before how we all complain about, gas prices being as high as they are, and yet most of the world is paying more for gas than we are. And it is a privileged life. It is a weird inconvenience to us when things are hard because we've tried for generations now to make things easier. I heard somebody say recently that camping was for the rich to pretend like they're poor because they can then live in a tent out in the elements and try to survive on nothing. And that's sort of true. Dave Ramsey taught me that if you make more than $30,000 as a couple of two, you're in the top 1% of the world's economy. It's pretty amazing to think about because, if I were making 30,000 a year as a couple, I'd say that we're not making it. I make a pretty good living, and there's a lot of days where I feel like I'm barely scraping by. Now, part of that is my own doing. Part of that is my own creation. A lot of it is. And I realize that. I own that. But I wonder how many people out there are owning their own stuff. How many people out there realize how good they have it and don't take advantage of the opportunities that are given to them? Like, what is enough? What is going to be the thing that makes them happy? What is the thing that's going to make them fulfilled or accomplished? For a lot of people, that's a different answer. And I guess it really depends on the person and their situation as to what their answer is. I am working a lot of hours. I'm also in a position now with a company that I've been with for a very long time where I can sort of do other things than what my main job was. And I'm learning to do other jobs so that hopefully I can move forward in the company. Last night, I shuttled. I worked third shift. Went in about 7:30 and picked up two trailers and drove them down to Savannah, Georgia from Florence, South Carolina and back. And there's a tropical storm off the coast. We didn't get a lot of rain on my trip, thank goodness. I was worried enough about remembering all the stuff I'm supposed to do whenever you're dropping and hooking doubles. But weather's in the area, and I was lucky. I was lucky. I can't help but think about how many generations of people lived in areas where, a storm might be coming and they have no idea. They're just out doing their day, and all of a sudden there's a tropical storm, like, or a hurricane. You just go, "Oh no, here it is." Right? And now they can predict that stuff, and they can watch it from outer space, and they can see from satellite view where it's going to hit and the path it's going in and the speed it's going in, and they can sort of navigate you around all of that if you need to. I mean, if you need to still live your life and not get in trouble with Mother Nature, you can still go around that. But Mother Nature is also one of those things that comes at you when you least expect it. In our area, just west of here, we've had about 50 small earthquakes in the last 7 months since December. And they range anywhere from 2.3 to a 4.1. Not enough to really do any damage, just to shake people up a little bit, get their attention. And I can't help but think that possibly our environment is getting ready to change again. We keep hearing about global warming. We keep hearing about all these things that are going to come our way. And you try to prepare and you try to think ahead, but sometimes there's no amount of preparation that can help you. I should title this the ADD podcast. That's what it should be, because my brain is all over the place today. Happy 4th of July. Happy freedoms. Hope you're having a great day. I'm concerned about the fact that I got a water leak in the front of my yard. My water main, on my side of the water main, has a leak. It's the second time since December. My stepdad and his best friend came out and fixed it in December, and it needs repairing again. And I can't help but think that it might be because of this earthquake stuff. We're not right at the earthquake center, but if the earth's shaking, things happen, things move, right? It's a possibility. Or it could be that two old men put it together and really didn't do a great job, just kind of patched it up enough to go, there, we did it. And then it fell apart, which is also possible. So I'm going to hire somebody professionally to do it, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. And if I do, then I can call them back and say, hey, the job you did needs to be fixed again. And they can at least follow up on what they've done. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? I know I'm all over the place. So I said all that to say this. I just got done watching the entire series of Shameless. It's taking me months to watch it. I've only been watching like an episode here and there, but I've had the opportunity this weekend to watch several episodes in this final season, and I just finished it. I mean, I just now finished it. And it's good. It's a cautionary tale for a lot of things. You got Frank, who's a raging alcoholic and drug addict, and he neglects his kids, and yet they all thrive, even despite the fact that he at every turn seems to sabotage their lives. And you've got sort of a look at how people are resilient and how they can overcome their obstacles no matter what. And sometimes the things that seem to break us at times do break us. And I'm really impressed with the show writers. I'm impressed with the actors, all the actors, even the fact that these kid actors have grown up on the show and become legit adult actors. I mean, they are incredible to watch. There's so much physicality to each one of their roles, not to mention the comedic timing of everything. There's a lot going on there. There's a lot of blood, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of abuse, there's a lot of things that most people would say makes them uncomfortable. But that's sort of life, right? It is life. Life is uncomfortable. Life gives you a lot of things that you don't think you can overcome. And either you choose to or you don't. And if you make it through the other side, you look at your life a little bit differently and you have a different perspective. Um, maybe you make different decisions as you go down the road. Maybe you use your experience as cautionary tales and you start to think about the fact that other people are not following through with the things that they're supposed to do, or they're being reckless with their lives, or they're being ill prepared. And, for me, I've had that happen and try to learn from those mistakes. But at the same time, I'm also human and I also make those mistakes at times. But I don't know. I think at the end of it, all you can do is really just try because that's what this life is, right? Bunch of trial and error. Yeah. So I don't know. I just listened to a great podcast with Bert Kreischer and two other guys that have a podcast called Are You Trash? And they're hilarious together. I like the premise of the idea of the podcast, Are You Trash? It's pretty funny. And, they're being silly and it was humorous. It was a nice escape from my reality. Just to not think about anything that was going on and just laugh for a while. It was good. Maybe that's why I'm drawn to comedy so much. 'Cause I have so much drama in my life that the comedy helps me escape a little bit. I don't know. Maybe. That may be it. I did finally watch The Lost City with is it Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock and Brad Pitt, Daniel Radcliffe. Uh Shout out to Josh Treadaway and his magical fire stick abilities. But yeah, I watched The Lost City. It was pretty good. It's sort of like a silly um I don't know, sort of a mix between Romancing the Stone and Goonies. Um yeah. It was okay. It was okay. I really liked the Brad Pitt character. I thought he was hilarious. Um Channing Tatum was funny. Um Sandra's always funny. I mean, it was good. It was really good. I wouldn't say it's a great movie by far. I mean, it's it's sort of like okay, so back but when I was dating years ago, a long time ago, I went on a date with this girl one time, and she said that American Pie was her favorite movie ever, and I thought, oh, you're not the girl for me, because she was serious. She was like very earnest in the fact that that was her favorite movie ever, and I was like, why? Oh goodness. But I'll ride with people once in a while and have conversations with people about movies and they'll mention a movie that is just bizarrely normal and they'll claim that that actor or actress is their favorite and that was their favorite role of them and I'm like that's a garbage movie. What makes you think? But also I realize that I'm watching and consuming more movies and television than most people and my perspective is a little bit different. When I see a lot of these actors and the roles that they play, I'm blown away by people who do it really well. And then when I see someone who's just on the screen because they're famous and they don't act like anything, they just act like themselves as like, hey, this is me and I'm this guy. Here I am doing the thing. Yeah, okay. I never forget the fact that you're still that movie star and you're still playing that role. You're never not that person. The goal of the actor is to make you not believe, is to make you forget who they are and make you believe they're that character. And there's a lot of actors and actresses that do it really well. Yeah. Yeah, this is the ADD podcast. I am all over the place. Here's the thing I've been doing a lot of these, This is episode 365. And I lose track of what I've talked about. I lose track of what I've done. I lose track of what I'm doing, just like everybody else. I'm human just like everybody else, right? I mean, yeah. I want to do more of these, but I want to do these more with people. I think the more I do them, the more I realize that I don't like doing them by myself. There was a time where I needed to suss out ideas and work through them verbally, and the podcast helped. The podcast was my version of a journal in a way. It was sort of my way to get things off my chest and to have them out there. And then I realized that I can't really tell you guys all the stuff that goes on. I can't be as honest as I want to be. I can't hurt people's feelings. I can't, and I can, and I don't want to. Um, Unintentionally or intentionally. Um, I don't know. I wish I had more foresight into what this is supposed to be. All of this, not just the podcast, but the YouTube and the day to day, everything. I don't know. I normally have 1,000 things lined up and 1,000 things in the fire, and I got nothing right now. Just work. Just work. On my calendar, it just says work. I mean, I do have 2 trips planned later in this year, and I'm looking forward to those trips. But between now and then, it's just a lot of work. And we're in South Carolina, and it's summertime, and it's hot, and it's no fun. So Shameless ended. Let's do the ADD thing. So Shameless ended. The final scene is spoiler if nobody's seen it. Frank dies, and he's floating, and he says, "At the end of this, I had a great time, and you should all not take yourself so seriously and have a better time." And he's right, and maybe that's why I'm in this weird mind space right now. I don't know, but either way, um, happy Fourth of July. I think I'm going to cook my Marley spoon tonight and go to bed early and go to work tomorrow and get in the cycle of just doing that for a while because it's not pretty and it's not fun, but it's actually what I'm good at. So yeah, I think I'll do that. Sorry, wish this was more upbeat. I wish I had more to give you. Um, yeah, I finished the Stranger Things. Came out with 2 episodes. Uh, they're movie style. I mean, the last 2 were an hour and a half and 2.5 hours long each, and it was like watching a movie. And I really thought this was supposed to be the end of Stranger Things, but apparently not. Apparently, there's one more season. Um, at least I hope there's one more season. It's getting kind of, it's good. Listen, the special effects are cool. The story's interesting. The characters are still kind of interesting. Um, but they're getting a little too old to be playing kids in high school. Um, so that's it. I'm gonna end this. Thanks for listening. Um, please be on the podcast with me. I need to have a back and forth with somebody. I can't be left with my own thoughts. My thoughts betray me. They self-sabotage me, like many of us. I'd rather have a discussion and yeah, that's it. Take care. And I lost my cow, by the way. I used to say cue the cow. I lost my cow. Anchor lost the cow. They just got rid of the cow. I don't know why. They just maybe they hate the cow. So I'm not gonna say cue the cow anymore. Or maybe I should say cue the cow and then I moo. I don't know. Whatever. Cue the cow. Moo. Arr.
So I want you guys to give me more likes. Give me more likes.